recording her own video, pointing at our house and talking to her phone's camera like she was some kind of investigative reporter breaking a major story. I couldn't hear what she was saying, but her gestures and facial expressions suggested she thought she was exposing the crime of the century. The situation took an even more bizarre turn when Betty knocked on our door. "She's got charts, Lucas. Actual charts. What time Grace leaves the house, what she's wearing, what she's carrying. Color-coded for suspicious behavior." Grace and I sat on the patio discussing her escalating behavior. "Tomorrow, I'm going to wear my work clothes home. Let's see what happens." Saturday morning arrived with crisp air. Grace's official-looking attire sent Mara completely over the edge. Around noon, a siren. Mara sprinting to the squad car. Officer Jake Miller approached. "Sir, I received a report about illegal weapons and impersonating an officer. When I said Grace's name, his expression changed. Mr. Grace's, I think your neighbor tried to get our new police chief arrested. Grace emailed the neighborhood, understand the legal implications of false reports. The responses were overwhelming. Stories came in single moms, veterans, young couples all harassed by Mara. The neighborhood dynamic shifted. Mara stood alone. Monday morning, Grace left for her first official day as police chief in uniform. Mara ran out yelling about fake uniforms. Then, "Good morning, Chief," Jake Miller called out. The look on Mara's face? Absolute collapse. Mara couldn't let go, stopping cars, yelling about corruption, waving her evidence, even tried to report Grace to the FBI, then marched into the police station demanding to see the chief, and found Grace behind the desk. Thursday's HOA meeting felt like a courtroom. Mara ranted about conspiracies. Then Grace stood. "I am Chief Grace Graces. Your accusations end tonight." Betty and others stood up story after story of Mara's harassment. The board voted, Mara suspended. The neighborhood changed overnight. Mara got official warnings, counseling, a cease and desist letter, no more false reports, and finally, a moving truck pulled up to her house. "You know," Grace said, "I've never had someone investigate themselves into legal trouble." She smiled as we watched Mara leave. Now the kids play, the neighbors talk, and the drama, oh, it never sleeps. The neighborhood was finally starting to feel like a community again. Without Mara's constant accusations and late-night binocular spying, people were friendlier, more open. Grace's presence seemed to reassure everyone, like having a built-in security blanket who also happened to be the most qualified peacekeeper around. Grace took her liaison role seriously, attending every HOA meeting and offering legal clarity without ever needing to raise her voice. It wasn't long before residents began suggesting improvements, real ones like safer crosswalks and better lighting in alleys. The energy had shifted completely. From fear to progress. As for Mara, no one had heard much from her since the moving truck pulled away. A few postcards from another city surfaced ranting about corruption, cover-ups, and a chief of police who wasn't what she seemed. Most neighbors just shook their heads and deleted them. People still ask Grace how she stayed so calm through it all. She always says the same thing. "I've faced trained liars in courtrooms. One panicked neighbor doesn't scare me. That humility, that strength, that's what turned a potential disaster into a redemption arc for the whole community." And so Willowbrook Valley went from a paranoid battleground to a neighborhood reborn. And the woman who was once mistaken for a threat, she became the one everyone counted on. Funny how justice works. Sometimes, all it takes is one good cop and one bad neighbor.